Hey everyone, this is part 2 to continue creating the app. If you didn't see the first part, I recommend to see the part 1 to continue in this video. And in this part we'll create this UI, we'll learn how to search for an item inside an array. Also we can switch from this horizontal layout to the vertical layout with this animation. And that is, so let's get started. First thing, I will create a new view. I will name it content view. What we have here is all the items inside VStack, also inside the scroll view. Let's make this inside scroll view. And we have the first haystack with the icon, title, and an image. And an image. I want to add a spacer between the icon and an image. Also, let's change the color for the button. I will add the color for all the items inside the haystack. So now when you're switching to the light mode, this too will be black. So the next one is custom text field with a button. Also we need a text. And we need this icon too. So I need this one. We change the color to the gray. And I want to push it a little bit from the left. On the haystack, I'll give it a frame height. And the background. I will cut all this and make it subview and change the name to custom search view. And here we need just to pass in the text. We can also add in text. So now when we call the custom search view, we should pass in the title and the text. So now we need this button. We search in for the icon. If we see when you click on the button is switching icons. So I need new state. Name it show. By default will be false. If show is true, we will display this icon, else will be this icon with animation show dot toggle. So now when I click on the icon, it's switching icon. Let's make it a little bit bigger, font title, and the color will be gray. Let's start creating this view. I'll create a new view, name it create a view. As we see, we have here an image, all this inside the VStack, an image and the text. After that, another text inside the HeStack with these two items. And then HeStack for the price and the rating. I want to add all these items inside the VStack. to align the items to the left. And the spacing will be 12. After the icon, I want to add the writing, another text. Let's add the background color. On the VStack, add the background color. And with the color ratio, but we need to give it a frame. 15. We need to give it a frame to make the background bigger. I want to add a spacer between the image and the text. After the image, spacer. And on this VStack, add in padding. From the bottom will be 12, and another padding from the horizontal. We need one more spacer between the price and the writing. So now let's add this button. I will use overlay. This means on top this view. I will choose this one with the alignment. I want it to be on the top right. Add an icon. We get a background. As you see on this one, it's the shape here with color ratio from the bottom left and the top right, but here the corner is very sharp. So to do this, we need a new modifier called inverse route angle. And we need to make it inside in, which is this one. Let's close this one. On the top leading, top left will be 0. Bottom leading will be 14. Bottom left. This one will be 0. And top trailing will be 14. And this style. But we need just to add in padding before the background. Will be 10. We have already added spacer between the text and the image. I want to add another spacer to the top. So on the VStack, I need spacer to align this image on the center. We need to make this view reusable. Let's create a model, and this model will have an image and the name and a price and writing. And here I create a new model. We'll name it data model. Open hashable. Underwriting. I want when I use this view or when I call this view, we need to pass in a data model. And here we need to pass in the data model. I will just comment this view. And here we can say vm.image on the price. Oh, sorry. This one will be the image. Here the name. Price, rating. That is. And just comment all this view. Comment B. Nice. The next view will be the horizontal view. Very much all the same, but inside in haystack. Let's create a new view. We'll name it like horizontal layout, H layout. What we have here, the all items inside in haystack. You have here an image, and after that we'll add the new vstack, the name, and the price and rating inside haystack, and we'll add between them a spacer, and an overlay. We'll add the plus button. Let's start with the haystack. Let's do it. Sushi, I like sushi. Then we need the vstack. Inside the vstack, we'll add another haystack. And here we'll add the name. And in here two text, one for the price and one for the rating. We need the star icon. And make this color primary. And for this vstack, we'll align the text all to the left. Adding spacing between the text and the pricing. will be 10. And I will add spacer between the price and the rating. And let's add the background color to the haystack. Add the background color. I want to add a frame to the haystack, make the height bigger. One more thing, we need to add the plus button or use an overlay with alignment. Will be right to the right, the training. We can't see the icon. The name is run plus. And I want to add the padding from the right side. And for the background shape, I will add corner ratio. And I will do this all side. This one in the future will be in a button, so let's make it button. For the label, we got this, and then here will be the action. Let's do the same for the grid view. Comment B to make sure no errors. Let's go back to this view. What I need is to push the rating to the left, because as you see the rating is on top the plus button. And one last thing, I need to change the color for the button. And for grid view also. Let's add also a little bit padding from the left for the image. I think 5 is good. 7, yeah. What we need is to make this one reusable. We will do the same. We need to pass in the view model of type data model. We'll add it over here. I will just comment this view, we don't need it. And here we pass the name, image, and so on. Now we are finished with the UI and both view is reusable. Let's go to the content view and display all the data here. Let's start with this view. We need a LazyV stack with a 2-column. But first thing, we need a data. We need array of data model. If we go to the grid view, we have this model. We need to pass in image, name, price, and rating. Let's create a new array on the content view. I will name it also VM, view model. Will be of type array of data model equal empty array. Here we can call the data model. As you see, we can pass in image, name, and price. To save time, I will just copy paste my array. Each item have different name, image, title, and so on. I will just close this to make this view clean. And I need the LazyV stack. This one with the columns. I need just 2 columns. When you tap array, you have here repeat and count. I want to repeat the grid item 2 times. And here we can pass in our view. Here we can call in the grid view. We need to pass in the view model, but we need in for each. Here we have an error because the model is hashable. We need to make it identifiable. And we need to add an ID equal UI ID. It was hashable for reason. For now, let's make it identifiable. Later we'll come back to the data model and make it hashable, and you will know later why. For now, let's make it like this. So now we see all the data. Let's make some spacing and the layout. And here I will add spacing 12. And for the VStack, add another spacing. Will be between these items. To the VStack, I will add the padding to the horizontal. We need to display the other view also, this one, but when we click this button. But for now, it's just copy paste this view. And here will be just 1 column. I need a new state. Var. I will name it list show list. Will be false by default. And we can use this state to switch between these views. We can say if show list is false, you add this one. If not show list, that means if is false, we will display this view. If show list, that means If show list is true, we'll display this view. For now, show list is false, we'll display this view. And here we can say show list dot toggle, and we'll use this one also for the icon. So now when I click the button, the show list will become true and display this view. You see? On the finishing up, when we switch between these views, there is animation for the image. And to do this effect is by using MatchedGeometryEffect. I have created a new view to explain how this works, and let's create very simple animation, and after that we'll add the effect to the image. And here we have very simple a Z-stack with a rectangle. I will push this rectangle to the left with max width infinity, alignment to the leading, and I need one more, but this one I will push it to the right. So now we have two rectangles. I will say if show is true, we'll display this view, else we'll display this rectangle. But let's give it each one different color. This one will be red and yellow. If show is true, we will see the red rectangle, else we will see the yellow one. I will add on top gesture to the Z-stack. Say show dot toggle. So now show is false. This means the yellow one will display on the screen. If I tap on the yellow one, we'll display this view. Let's tap again. Let's add the animation and see what will happen. When I click on the rectangle, there is no animation. When I click on the rectangle, there is no animations. It just appear and disappear from here to here. But I want a transform from this rectangle to this one with animations. I want this rectangle move to the here and change the colors. We can do this by using MatchedGeometryEffect. After the rectangle, I will add MatchedGeometryEffect. He will take an ID. We can name it anything. Let's leave it ID, and we need a namespace. And here we say namespace var and give it name. It'll be just a namespace. And we will add this namespace over here. I need the same one with the same ID. Each element should have the same ID. If this element related to this one, both should have the same ID, else will not working. So now if I click again on the yellow one, you see how the yellow one is moving. It is very simple example, but I hope you understand why we need the MatchedGeometryEffect. Like when you want to switch from one view to other view, you will use this one, the MatchedGeometryEffect. So we will do the same thing to the image. Let's go to the grid view. I will add the MatchedGeometryEffect to the image. The ID will be the image name. and we need a namespace. We need to pass in the namespace. Be of type namespace dot id. We do the same thing to the horizontal layout. Now let's go to the content view. And here we need to pass in the namespace. So now you see when we click on the button, there's an animation for the image. The next thing is let's create the function for the search bar. So when we type something, we will filter the data inside the view. Let's just close this, make the view clear. So I need state var. I'll name it search text. Data filter of type array of data model. I will type the code first and I will explain it. Let's break this down. Simply we say if the search text is empty, we will return as the view model VM array. This means we'll display all the data. Else we will return the data and filter by name. This means we are already typing something on the text field. And the filter, we will filter the data by the name. And this long word is for the text inside the search text. For example, let's say you type hamburger. And here the hamburger on the array is starting by uppercase. But if you type it the lowercase, it will be no result. It will be just an error. It's no name like this in the array. And this one will make always the text, all the text uppercase or lowercase. Let's use the data filter. To use the data filter, we need to pass in hashable ID. We pass in the ID. We will see the error should be the model with the hashable. Let's go back to the grid view and just delete this, make it hashable, and we don't need the ID anymore. And we'll do the same for the other view. As one last thing, we need to change the text field to the search text. Now if we type something on the text field, let's type sushi, you see the result, hamburger. But if you want to add animation to this grid, we can say over here animation, which is this one with the value. I want to add the animation to the search text. Here we can choose animation type, will be spring. Now if we tap again for the sushi, there's animation. Now if you click again to switch to the horizontal view, the app will crash. I don't know why, sometimes Xcode is not working. But I will run the app. As you see here, the main view will be the content view. Here if I click on a button, it works just fine. If we search for an item,